Hi everyone. In today's video, I want to show you. Decided to give you a bit of introduction to our tool, to Virtualist, to give you to kickstart your project. First of all, when you open the tool, you're welcomed with the login screen. So you need to type in your login and password. And this takes you to your first project screen, where you can start your work right away. But let me give you a quick introduction, quick overview of the panel on the right. So in here, you can expand and close the panel. You can also check the details of your account, where you can also change your password. Here is the section where you receive invitations to the scenes created by others, and you can also check the status of the invitation and whether it's and you can also delete it. So the next stage is where you can create your project, and here it shows you. This is the local drive view of your project. This is the list of all your projects that are added to you or are created by you. So when you work, this will populate, and at some point you will also use your cloud. Virtualist comes with a cloud storage, where it shows you what projects are currently uploaded to your cloud storage. So let's pause here let's stop here for a minute and see what the columns say. So first, you get the title of your project. For example, a spaceship project. This is the company that created the project. It becomes useful later on when there are more in the team, or maybe you do it for different companies. This is a person who created the file, the scene, and this is the date, as it says, when the scene was last modified. When you need more data, you can also log in directly to your cloud to get more data on who's invited to the scene, or who uploaded and what version was uploaded recently of the scene. But here is the main overview window, and we also have a public explore section, which may list projects that were tagged as public by you later on. So first of all, you need to, maybe another thing which is also helpful. If you click in here, you get your link to the knowledge base. But remember that you can also contact us on chat, or book a meeting with us if you're stuck or lost somewhere on the way. Okay, so going back to the project, you can name it, and give it some sort of a description. It's helpful if you get more projects later on. So the next stage, next phase, allows you to add an address of the project. It's helpful not only for being informative or some. It's also useful when you need to calculate the sun position on your project, because this automatically calculates the sun position. Let's override that for now. Let's move on. And here is the scene. So one project can include many scenes. It's not just one project and one scene. So you can have one building with many floors, or you can have one apartment with many rooms, or you can have one set of wind turbines with many types, or whatever hierarchy or whatever taxonomy you use in your project, depending on the project goal and in the industry, it differs. So it's up to you, and it gives you a total freedom. And here you can add some sort of thumbnail that will load on the way on your loading screen. I have some pictures here that we may use. Yeah, so to move on, let's see, maybe something like that. Yeah, so it's just an example picture, and you can click on an empty scene here and move on to your 3D. So this is what you get when you're starting. It's an empty space. It's not much, but Virtualist is not leaving you without help here. So first of all, when you're new to the software, you may be coming back to the tutorial, which gives you a quick overview of all the options main options used on the interface. So it's helpful. It stays here all the time, and it gives you a quick, short helping hand whenever you're lost. So use it. Just use it. First option gives you a way to save your scene. So Virtualist is always asking you if it should be also saved on the cloud, because by default Virtualist saves it on your local device, but you may want to share it on the cloud and maybe send invites to someone to get into the scene. So this is the way to do it. First of all, you need to add something to the scene. So you can do it in many ways. You can upload your own content, which is through here, add object, and you get the content library, and you can import that file. Virtualist is pretty smart. It has a lot of different options to create and upload objects on the fly. One of them is the ability to upload objects by adding multiple files. So you can do it like that. Virtualist is uploading the files, and it analyzes them. It checks what problems the files have. Right, you can change the name of the file before you add it to the project. You can decide whether it should be just models, or maybe you want to add textures and materials if they are embedded in the file, or there's an information where to find them in the file. Virtualist accepts FBX, OBJ, COADA, and DI files, and 3ds files, and it's pretty smart. This option is to split the file into sections. Don't use it if you don't need to divide the file to sections. It will, if the model is complex, it will throw up a lot of elements in your library. It's just to be used when really it's required to break down the objects to specific elements. So Virtualist finished to analyze all our files, and you can see what advice it's giving you on how to proceed. So there's a specific way to, or maybe sometimes, let's put it this way, sometimes 3D models are prepared not so well, so if you won't have an optimized mesh, or you will have really heavy textures, or you will not name sections in the file uniquely, Virtualist will prompt you, and when it's feasible, Virtualist will try to help you on the way, but it will always give you a guiding on how to proceed with your files. So let's maybe just take these two files. We can name them how we want it. If the files have materials, Virtualist will automatically create them for you here, and also the textures. If not, you can always create a new material yourself. It will be empty, and you will have the option to create and add different textures to it, and then apply it to your 3D mesh. So just to let you know, it's also possible. Here you can decide whether the imported assets should be available in your whole project, or just in this specific scene. So this is the question of scope. Sometimes you may want the assets to be just available to some scenes, and it's important when the scenes are shared with others. Maybe you don't want someone from the other team to have an access to this specific scene and set of assets. This is the place where you can decide on that, and then you just import the file. So this is where Virtualist takes a brief moment to add it, and then you can see it creates the materials and textures and meshes in the file, in the library. So we can close that for now, and here we can see you have the materials already created. You can change their specific parameters here, but let's leave that for now. And then you can just drag and drop your file to the scene. Yeah, so if the mesh, as you can see here, has UV and material data prepared correctly, Virtualist imports them also while keeping all the textures and materials in order, and they're properly matched and mapped. You can always change the details of the material and check, the different specifics and parameters of the material. So this is the way to do it. This is the way to import your own files. You can also use primitives. You can have different shapes that we have prepared for you on the scene. And you can always build and use them with the materials that you've already uploaded for different result, different effect. So primitives come in different shapes, and we also have some lightning you can add. Yeah, sorry. Let's focus back. Yeah, so this is the quick way to build atmosphere in the scene if you need it. So yeah, I'm using shortcuts, but just to be on the safe side. Place that here, just for you to see. We have two ways to choose specific types of lighting, spotlight and omni-light. And there's also a way to add your content, to add the content from Google Poly, which is a Google library of 3D objects created by different contributors. And it's just easy as dragging and dropping a file to the scene. So you can search for different files and just drop them on the scene for your result. It's especially useful if you need to quickly ideate some concepts, and you like 3D models. So this is the basic way of working with new content in Virtualist. It comes with many more options. There are also online repositories and online 3D warehouses where you can source 3D models and for your projects. But we've really made sure the Virtualist has a way to work with also your CAD files and your objects. So it's especially useful when you have your own content and you can create your 3D scene, the way you want it. The interface is flexible, so you can have many different windows open, and you can also change their size. You can dock and undock them. So as you can see, this window is undocked, and you can work with many screens, for example. If you have multiple setup with monitors and screens, and you don't want to clutter your view in the main window, you can unlock them. So when you're done with the scene, when you're done with your work, you can save the file, and you can also save it to the cloud. And it uploads it. Takes just a brief moment to upload it to your local drive. Then it connects to the cloud and uploads it to your storage online. And this depends on your connection, on the speed of your connection, and on the size of the scene too. Make sure to have textures in low or maybe acceptable resolution. If you have many textures, this is the regular way to break your scene, or this is the regular thing that we see with the users when you have a lot of textures, maybe to 4K or 8K. It will really make the scene very heavy, and it will make the scene load and download a lot longer. So this was the quick introduction to Virtualist, and you can find us on chat and online. Give us a shot. Give us shout us a word if you have any problems on the way, and I hope Virtualist will make your work efficient and productive.